Over the past 6 months, we have seen many NFT collections continue to bleed in floor price. In today's video, let's discuss if we have reached a bottom or if there is more damage to come. So quick disclaimer, I want to make sure people understand that these sorts of videos are not meant to FUD any specific bags. We're going to take a look at certain projects and certain floor prices. And it's really just going to come down to being objective with the facts, what the team is doing, what the team has done in the past, what the team has done recently, the community sentiment, overall macro sentiment, macro factors affecting the NFT space, and just giving my brief thoughts around what's going to happen for the ETH valuation and also the USD valuation for a lot of collections moving forward. Remember to check out my private Discord in the description below. We are still running that discount if you're looking to get access to a great group of people who can help you make money in these crazy markets. Check out the link in the description below. Okay, so we all know that in 2021, NFTs went through a major bubble where NFTs and floor prices and the USD valuation for those NFTs was at astronomical levels. 6 figures, 7 figures, some even 8 figures. Some absolutely crazy degenerate shit went on for many, many months. Many people made money. Many people held on for too long. And that's just the reality. So in this video today, let's discuss what we think is going to happen over the next 3, 6, 12 months and kind of just predict and speculate what might be coming for the NFT space as a whole. I think for me, it's pretty simple. We could see a potential bottom very soon if we haven't already bottomed for the ETH valuation for NFT projects. And what I mean by that is how much ETH someone is willing to pay for said JPEG. So we could see, for instance, Doodles bottom at around 2 Ethereum, and depending on holder sentiment and what the team's direction, we could see 2 ETH just be 2 ETH and that be the floor price for a while, and that could end up being the bottom. But as we all know, the number that most people care about is going to be the USD valuation. So in my opinion, potentially we're getting close to bottoms when it comes to the ETH valuation for many projects. But the problem is the USD valuation and how that comes into play. If Ethereum is currently at $1,900, $2,000, we could very well see Ethereum take a retrace back, 15, 20, 30%. And that would take a big hit, a big chunk of what you could sell your NFTs for in relation to the US dollar. And we've seen this in the past where potentially, ETH goes on a tear and we start to see NFT ETH valuations pull back a bit because they're kind of recalibrating for that USD valuation. And we could potentially see the same for the USD valuation. So let's say Doodles is sitting at 2 Ethereum floor price and ETH goes from $2,000 to $1,700, a decent about 30% correction. We could see Doodles floor price go from 2 ETH to potentially 2.5 or potentially even 3 to kind of counterbalance that ETH and USD valuation to get it up to where the market determines the fair value for that JPEG. And so if you want to have a conversation around whether something has bottomed or not, we need to take a look at a few things. One is going to be volume. We have seen historically low volume periods for NFTs over the past few months. So low volume in general equals potentially lower floor prices because not as many sales are coming through. And so holders get antsy and decide to undercut each other over and over again until one eventually does sell. So I think volume is important, but also we need to keep in mind potentially unique wallets for the MetaMask, OpenSea, and Blur, all these different marketplaces of active traders in the space. And what we've seen is that the number of unique wallets, the number of active traders in the space is slowly decreasing and being stagnant over the past, 3 to 6 months. And I think this makes a lot of sense. There's been a lot of negative sentiment around NFTs in general, a lot of negative news and FUD, a lot of projects, a lot of burnt out people, and a lot of people who frankly just didn't take enough profits and got wrecked along the way. And since we've seen meme coins go crazy recently and gas being a little bit higher, and also we've seen Ethereum uptick in price from $1,200 to closer to $2,000, of course, people are going to be trading less NFTs, paying less attention to NFTs in general because meme coins and crypto is where the speculators are going to go to chase the narrative. So if you see a bottoming of volume and also a bottoming of unique wallets and people actively trading in the space, you could use that as potential data points to point to a potential bottom in the NFT space. Now, obviously, this is all speculation and also not financial advice. We could very well see a project at 1 ETH go to 0.9, 0.8, 0.7, 0.5. They could easily get eviscerated because of how illiquid NFTs are. It could just take one FUD cycle, one super bland month, and we could see not only the USD but ETH valuation take a hit at all these NFTs. And in inversely, the same way floor prices can crash so quickly, floor prices can also rapidly increase in price as sentiment grows, people become more interested in the space and start returning to the entire ecosystem. So my general thoughts on this when it comes to, are we potentially bottomed out for NFTs? What I'll say is I think we're getting close to potential bottoming for the ETH valuation. What I will say is that we could very well see, 20, 30, 40% ETH valuation correction if things go really sideways in big markets like the United States where we enter recession, etc. We could see that. But if you take into account low volume and a very low amount of traders and certain collections are holding steady at certain prices, that is potential data point once again that you could use to say that these collections potentially have bottomed when it comes to their ETH valuation. But I think the very interesting part is looking at the USD valuation and how that is going to affect sentiment and collections going forward. I think we're basically at the whim of Ethereum and the current cycle it's in. If ETH goes to $10,000, NFT floor prices are going to have to recalibrate and recalculate to find the fair market value in which the market is willing to buy, sell, and trade a certain collection. Supply and demand, very basic. And so for me, I would say, once again, we're close to some sort of ETH bottoming or strong collections. This is excluding projects that are just pump and dump NFTs that basically provide no value, no community, no building, no speculation, nothing like that. But for these collections that are having stable potential ETH floor prices, give and take 10, 20%, we could see a decent correction or even inversely increase in price for the USD valuation. And so for me, it's about time for me to start eyeballing different communities and potentially getting a little tiny bit of exposure into them. I won't be doing it yet. I probably won't be doing it in the next few weeks or maybe even the next few months. But if things get drastically bad, I do believe in the space. I do believe in a select few communities and leaderships on Twitter and Discord and different narratives that I think potentially could see liquidity and money flow back into those ecosystems. I will be talking about those certain projects on this channel eventually, but for now, I'll just be waiting, watching, and being patient. You really don't want to enter into positions prematurely. Ideally, you're potentially dollar cost averaging into NFTs, which is definitely possible. If it's an NFT that is fairly cheap, if your goal is to buy 10 over the next 5 years, 2 years, a year, whatever it is, you could buy one now, one in a few months if prices go lower, one in a few more months if prices go even lower, etc. You don't always have to just dump your entire bag into things at one given time. You can do it gradually over weeks or months. And so I think one of the biggest things we need to look at when it comes to, bottoming of certain NFT projects and whether or not it's potentially a good buy is going to be volume, is going to be unique addresses, trading actively in the ecosystem, which we've talked about, but also taking a look at the specific projects, making sure their leadership is being active with communication and hyping up the troops and just making sure people are happy and the sentiment overall is good. Taking an objective look at what has the team done, what is the team planning to do, what is the team currently doing? Also take a look at holder sentiment, check out the Discord, check out recent announcements, do all of the research you need to do for any normal investment, but be very critical about it, be super objective about it and say, hey, look, I really like this art. Maybe I really like the team, whatever it is, but they just haven't done the things that I personally agree with recently. And so maybe it's just not the project for you and you just avoid that project altogether. So it's going to be a whole package of, the macro factors and how the NFT space is handling potentially recession in the United States and overall macro FUD and crypto crashing, whatever it is, and also that specific project's team, foundation, leadership, communication, what they've done, utilities, everything. So no one has the magic pill, the magic secret sauce to picking the winners of this NFT ecosystem race. And so it's going to be up to you to listen to the right people, make your own decisions, do your own research, have conviction in the projects that you invest in, while also being able to emotionally disconnect and cut losses if necessary. If people had the secret sauce to choose the right projects all the time, we would all be millionaires. But sadly, that is not the case. Therefore, everything we do in this space, crypto or NFTs related, talking about the bottom, talking about tops, if we're going to have another cycle, what projects to choose, is all going to be up to you as an individual to put some conviction and money where your mouth is and choose your projects accordingly. And at the end of the day, this is all speculation, and these projects could go to 100 ETH or a 0 ETH in a week. And so you really just need to be accepting of the fact that you're probably going to get wrecked, and you might have some insane W's as well along the way. And it's really just the journey, not necessarily the destination. And ideally, you are practicing patience and putting the proper safeguards in place, and also understanding your own risk tolerance while also having a plan with a certain percentage of your capital that you're willing to invest in these crazy speculative assets, because at the end of the day, that is what they are. We're all speculating that this price is going to go up, that this project is going to succeed, and that we're using our own personal conviction to make those choices. But at the end of the day, we need to accept the fact that we could lose all our money, and it's no one else's fault but my own. And I think, you know, to end this on a positive note, there's a lot of communities that I really believe in, and I think the tech is really cool, and I think you can really use and leverage NFTs to build amazing communities, provide value to your holders, keep them happy, keep them updated, do some really cool, cutting edge, super innovative, super unique, and exciting experiences for the entire community that you're building and the space in general. So choose your winners, choose the horses that you decide to bet on wisely, while using everything we talked about in this video to determine which projects to choose. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to check out my private Discord in the link below, and I will see you guys in the very next one. Peace.